Good afternoon. You're tuning into the Board of County Commissioners meeting. My name is Carolina Mejia. I am chair of the board. I am joined by Vice Chair Ty Menser and Commissioner Gary Edwards, Assistant County Manager Ramiro Chavez, as well as Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell, and many other staff members who are joining us. It is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. It is 2:03 p.m. This is a virtual meeting. For public attendance, you may follow along on the Thurston County YouTube channel or join by calling 360-252-9020. I'm calling this meeting to order. With that, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Vice Chair Menser.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would you like to do a land acknowledgement, Vice Chair?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We would also like to start today's meeting with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the Indigenous Salish peoples who have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing.
Thank you. Okay, with that, is there a motion for the approval of the Tuesday, March 8th agenda?
I make a motion to approve the proposed agenda for Tuesday, March 8th, 2022.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved. Thank you, sir. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menser.
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Next, I'm ready for a motion for the board meeting minutes for both February 22nd and March 1st.
I move to approve board meeting minutes from February 22nd, 2022 and March 1st, 2022.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Commissioner Menser.
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of Thurston County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. The general speaking guidelines are as follows. Please introduce yourself, including the address you reside in the county. Please address the board, not the audience or staff. The board does not respond to public comments. On a need basis, the county manager will follow up on specific items. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees cannot donate their speaking time to another person. The board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for good cause. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outbursts of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. All materials provided to the county may be considered public record, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256. No remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. Thank you so much for your cooperation. County Manager, will you please call?
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to go through the order that I have on my Zoom screen. That may not necessarily the order in which you have joined this meeting. And then I will move after I call the individuals on the Zoom screen to the conference call. First that I have in my Zoom screen, I have Council Member Caroline Cox. Would you like to provide testimony this afternoon?
No, thank you. I'm just here to observe.
Thank you. Next, I have a Ms. Chris Ria.
Yes, hello. I'm Chris Ray. I live on Cushing Street in Olympia, Washington, 98502. I'm really just here to sit in and see what's going on. What brought me here originally is the rental assistance situation. So I'm just watching to see how things are going.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next, I have Ms. Christina Janis.
Good afternoon. Don't have anything as far as realtor information going. I just wanted an update if there is possible, maybe later we can meet up or have a posting on where we are at with the emergency declaration for January's flooding in South County. I know I have some past clients down there that were never in a floodplain and they did end up flooding. So just wanting to reach out to see where the status was on anything for those folks that did suffer losses or expenses that weren't covered under insurance. So thank you.
Next, I have Ms. Edlura Kuka. I apologize if I don't pronounce your name correctly.
That's okay. It's Adlira. I don't have any public comment, just listening in today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Mr. Jameson Harris. Mr. Harris. Next, I have Ms. Jill Severn. Would you like to provide testimony this afternoon, ma'am? No. Next, I have Mr. John Pettit. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. My name is John Pettit. I live at 9725 Rich Road, East Olympia. And while I'm happy to be joining you here via Zoom, I'll be even more happy when we can actually go back to having formal public meetings that are open to the public there at the courthouse. I think that that is the best and proper means, and I think that it makes it very difficult for a lot of people to participate the way which it's going on. I have several things I just wanted to touch base on. It's going to be a fairly light day for my conversation, but I wanted to again update that in looking at the resolutions and such that's been filed online and available, I still have a number of resolutions that haven't shown up from back in April of 2021. So hopefully we can get those all posted up pretty soon. For a short time, we were starting to gain back on some of the backlog that hasn't been posted yet. And I took note the other day that in the beginning of this month, or correction, February, there was some of the resolutions, ordinances being signed from back in December. So I think a prompt action to sign things would be always best. One of the things which I think is coming up, it has a little bit to do, of course, with Black Lake, but the real issue that I'm trying to bring out is that as you being our elected commissioners, you're not our leaders. You're not our leaders. You're our representatives. You're supposed to be here to be representing us and helping us get our voice heard. Now, the reason I'm bringing that out is there's a couple things that have happened recently. One was actually quite a while ago, and that has to do with an upcoming hearing you have for Black Lake. The Black Lake Special District became a frenzy of excitement back when Commissioner Menzer and Commissioner Hutchings, who became unelected, decided that it wasn't important for the people to vote regarding having their property encumbered with debt. The people should always have a right to vote. The idea that you know better than what the people that own the property that will be subject to thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars of debt because of the bond is an obvious reason why you have a big issue coming up right now with people not happy with the district. I think that converting it over to a lake district, perhaps that's a good thing. But that level of protection you were to provide to say, no, we're not just approving a bond, let's let people vote. It was completely shoved to the side. Recently, there was an issue about a home fund that you decided, once again, the people don't need to vote. Now that was Commissioner Menzer again. And Commissioner Mejia decided the people don't need to vote. We'll decide for them. There's no excuse that you don't think that the people should have a right to vote. And I think that a history regarding increasing taxes or utility rates, all of these things need to be accountable to the people. So I'm hoping that perhaps people can change their way and decide the people's voice is a good voice. It's good enough to be electing officials, but it's not good enough to make decisions. Okay, I'm going to leave it this, and I'll be back for the Black Lake meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I have Ms. Karen Mesmer.
I'm here to observe. No comments today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Mr. and Mrs. Lee Lytle. Next, I have Mr. Ryan Deskins. Nope, okay. Next, I have Miss Susan Yoakum.
Hello.
Go ahead, ma'am, you have 4 minutes.
Yes, I'm here today. I sent another email for today about the responses that you guys provided on February 15th regarding a letter I mailed February 8th. You answered questions I did not ask. Mr. Chavez, I was asking about letting the public know when their issue is going to be presented so that they know. And you told me, yeah, go look online. Well, I am online. And what I asked for was an email notice, because you guys have that when we have to submit a proposal. An email notice to go to the signer on that request so that they're not spending all their time trying to find out when their issue is going to be presented. That was one. Secondly, on I asked for some information about Ordinance 15308 when you guys establish a fireworks ban, and the information that was provided was about meetings and timelines going up to the ban. What I asked about was what happens after Josh says, oh, there's going to be a ban. Okay, so do you notify TV, radio? Are there notices put out to the gas stations, fireworks stands, any place to spread the word? But what happens when Josh says there's a ban? DNR, they'll close the parks and other things and really deal with it. And thirdly, I got a memo from Josh on February 15th, and he's saying that you guys did not want to do anything about the fireworks at this time. Okay, however, in the email from Josh, it says that, and I'm reading from this letter I sent, after considering the many diverse views of residents throughout the county on restricting fireworks and learning of input received from previous explorations of the topic, the board decided they didn't want to do anything. Well, what's previous? Was that 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? When was the last input that Josh got to decide that you guys didn't want to do anything about it currently? A lot has changed in the last 2 years. You know, everything. I mean, look, we're at war now, but climate change has been acknowledged, and you guys just didn't respond to the questions that I presented. And also this lack of two-way communication is extremely frustrating. I have seen you speak with other people online in an interactive way. So I don't know why I'm not provided the same courtesy. Maybe they're other state representatives or other state employees or something, so they get a benefit that the regular public does not. And finally, Commissioner Menzer, in the summer, I provided a data notebook to your office, and I was wondering if you ever got it. My intention was that you would share it with the other two commissioners, and it was full of maps and science and data, not just emotion about the fireworks situation. So I would like to know if you ever actually got that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I have Mr. Baczynski. If I pronounce it right?
No, it's Pajewski, but that's okay. It's Polish. It's hard to say. Looks different than it's spelled. Hi, my name is Terry Pajewski, and I don't know if you can see me, but I live at 7401 39th Court Southeast, Lacey, 98503. That's in Gary Edwards District. I've never attended a meeting before. I'm a little nervous. I am here to speak out about the impacts to the community of the withdrawal of the Community Action Council contract and my concerns about that, as well as the impacts to my family and to those families around us. My understanding is this bleeds over also into Lewis and Mason counties as well. So that's a pretty wide swath of people who are affected. My understanding, I wasn't able to get the metrics from Miss Allie Tope over at Community Action Council of how many families are impacted by this very sudden decision. In terms of how it impacts us, we're 2 months behind on our rent right now. My husband lost his job because Walmart fired him when he had a positive COVID test. He didn't show up to work. They said he had to, even though he wasn't medically able to. Not only was he symptomatic, which was unwise to be at work, but that's just unreasonable. I have not been able to work. I have long COVID as a result of our COVID infection in early January. We are 2 months fully behind. We pay $1,995 a month in rent. We are currently, I just got a message from the landlord this morning, pasted to our door. We are currently $5,985 behind in rent. That is a fee of $10 a day that's been assessed since January 1st. So we owe $2,000 more almost today than we did 2 months ago. We had no notice. I'm very disappointed that the clients were not contacted. There was no communication. This decision was made February 24th. Why have I learned about this yesterday from my landlord. I thought that they were calling to get the last bit of information to us to finalize our application because we had one more piece of paper, and they were calling to let us know that we would have to make payment arrangements or we could be evicted. I'm very concerned about the impact to the community. I'm concerned about what I'm reading in here because the initial reports in January didn't find any fraud. I failed to find any logic in your trail of thinking in suddenly withdrawing this program. I object wholeheartedly to the way that this has been gone about. My understanding, talking to Elisa Sparkman over at the Thurston County Housing Alliance, she's the liaison. I feel bad for her. She's one person and there's a whole bunch of us who don't know what's going on. She has done an outstanding job of customer service despite the position you have placed her in, which is untenable. Community Action Council continues to try and reassure us, but they can't say a lot, unfortunately. My understanding from Elisa is that this will go county by county. Thurston County will be last. I don't know when that means for us, but we run an increased and substantial risk of being evicted in this time. While you guys are figuring out, you didn't even have a provider as of March 1st. So you pulled this program, the carpet out from underneath a lot of people with no plan, no transition, no assistance for the clients. We are in limbo and I need assistance. You must find a way to pass some sort of a moratorium that protects the landlords and protects the tenants from being evicted unnecessarily due to your haphazard decision. These programs are absolutely essential, absolutely irreplaceable, and cannot just be paused in reality for the rest of us outside the moratoriums that have been lifted for rent. I don't know what you intend to do about it, but I don't intend to be quiet about this issue. I have never advocated like this in my life, so please, I apologize for my disorganization. I only found out about this meeting yesterday, and I'm trying to track down all of the paperwork and wrap my head around it. I appreciate you giving me the time today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Just as a follow-up, Madam Chair. If
Go
I may.
ahead, sir.
Thank you. Ma'am, if you can stay a little bit longer in this meeting, the Board of County Commissioners have an item on their agenda this afternoon to approve a contract to a vendor to continue to provide services, rental and utility assistance. So this will be for their consideration this afternoon. And also, I'm glad that you have been in touch with Public Health and Social Services staff as we continue to address your concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. I can stay around.
And that covers everyone that I have on the Zoom screen. If I missed anybody on the Zoom, please raise your hand. I see none. Let me go over to the conference call. Good afternoon. For those members of the public who have joined us via conference call this afternoon, and if you'd like to provide public testimony, please unmute yourself, state your name, where you reside in the county. You have 4 minutes. None. Thank you, ma'am. Public testimony is concluded at your pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll go on to our next item, which is the county manager's update.
Thank you. I'd like to follow up to two public testimony that you received last week. One from Ms. Rea, and I'm glad that Public Health and Social Service staff has reached out to you, so we'll continue to have this conversation and address your concerns. The other public testimony that I'd like to follow up is testimony that you received from Ms. Cami Rowe. She is the owner of the Oyo Hotel. And I'm not going to paraphrase what her testimony was, but in response to her testimony that you received on March 1st, I want to clarify the vacating of the quarantine and isolation hotel by Thurston County Public Health and Social Services was based solely on a contractual default. The building was experiencing extensive plumbing issues and flooding that created hazardous conditions on multiple floors. This resulted in many areas of the hotel being unusable for guests and staff due to these concerns. Under the lease agreement, we have a section 9.16 that gives us the step as to how we need to address that. As a result, due to the deteriorating building conditions and the inability to address and correct the clear and present health and safety concerns, we are not able to continue under those terms of the contract. The health and safety concerns of tenants and staff are paramount to continue occupancy of the building, and unfortunately was no longer attainable for Thurston County to continue occupancy under this contract. We will continue, as we will continue to have conversations with Ms. Rowe as to how we can resolve the issues related to this very contract-related matter. And that's all I have for this afternoon on this item.
Thank you. Any comments, questions from the commissioners? Okay. With that, we'll go on to our next item, which is consent items. There's only one item, and I'm ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the voucher list, or actually I'll just say I've moved to approve consent agenda, which includes item 3A on today's agenda.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on that item? Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. With that, we'll move forward to department items. We'll start with Central Services, item 4A. It's a purchase agreement with Western Building Material Association. And Robin, will you be handling this matter? So I'll pass it to you.
Right. Thank you, Commissioner. Robin Campbell, Assistant County Manager, and also the head of Central Services in Thurston County. A few months ago, the county became aware of the availability of the property at 909 Lake Ridge Drive. This is property that is adjacent to other buildings we own, and in fact, the county owns, with the exception of this one parcel, the county owns the entire block that this is a part of. The property was assessed, and the assessment value is the same as the purchase amount. We have also done a review of the building, and it will meet our current needs as a place for our Office of Public Defense. The building that office is currently located in does not have enough space. So we'll be able to solve a space concern by the purchase of this building, and it will become part of the upgrade of the buildings here on campus. So we are requesting the board's approval to complete the purchase of this property. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Robin. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. I'm prepared to make a motion.
Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No questions.
And Commissioner Menzer, will you be making a motion for this item? Okay. Go ahead, sir.
I would move to enter into purchase agreement for the building located at 909 Lake Ridge Drive Southwest, Olympia, Washington. Parcel number 46830000600.
I'll second. So moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Go ahead, Commissioner Menzer.
Yes. So I just wanted to make a couple of comments. We've got 3 major capital projects going right now, including tenant improvements at the atrium building, including improvements needed to the ballot processing center in the buildings that we purchased at Mottman, and a $50 million plan to upgrade and expand the courts here at the courthouse campus. These are all addressing very necessary direct needs of the county. I do think this new property has value to the county, but to me, it's more of a want than a need, and we've stretched to get where we are, and I'm not comfortable with this expenditure at this juncture. Be nice to have, but I see it as a want, not a need. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to provide some comments too on why I support this. The reason I support this is because it's right in our area of growth. So it provides not only a short-term ability to fit our space needs, but also a long-term ability. And that to me is very, very important, especially if we decide to, do a new courthouse up here up on the hill, or we decide to move any other way or expand. It just provides the availability. That piece right there of the property that we're buying has been kind of just, everything around it belongs to the county except for that little area. And so I feel it definitely fits a need and what we're trying to achieve. I think it's a good purchase. And so that's why I'm fully in support of it. I know that short term, it will be able to fit a need with public defense, which is very important. So it's been moved and seconded. I'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Nay.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to Commissioner's item, Nisqually Tribe Agreement for Broadband Expansion. And County Manager, will you be handling this matter?
I can't hear the county manager.
I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, I believe Jenica Machado is going to be presenting the item for you this
Okay.
afternoon.
I did not see her. I see her now. Jenica, I'll pass this to you.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners. Previously, Commissioners approved $500,000 in American Rescue plans to support broadband expansion through a countywide survey and pre-engineering. The survey will identify unserved and underserved areas and pre-engineer select routes. This interlocal agreement with the Nisqually tribe is brought forward to enable implementation of this project and formalize the partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions. I think I would advise that citizens that are watching us on any of these topics today, should they have an interest in any particular one of them, they could see our work session and actually other sessions in prior weeks in which these topics have been discussed. And so I'm not going to prolong the issue. I'm content with moving ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Menser, questions?
No questions.
Okay, with that, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement with the Nisqually Indian Tribe for implementation and continued pursuit of broadband expansion projects.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, moving on to information technology, item 6A, District Court, Chandler Court video. And I see Dennis Osorio. I'll pass this to you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Dennis Osorio, IT Director. So some background on this. In 2020, we replaced all of our court video systems with Chavez. And then as we needed additional space due to the pandemic, we also leased an additional facility in Chandler Court. And we did put Chavez in there, but we only put audio recording in there. So just giving you some background on this. This ask is to expand to have video capabilities over in Chandler Court for District Court so they can get through their backlog of trials. So some of the funding for this has been secured by District Court through the Administrative Office of the Court's CARES funding. And that amount was for $55,018. I know we talked about this earlier, since this has such a quick turnaround and that grant has to be finished by March 31st. There is a chance that one piece of equipment will not be delivered by that time. And District Court will be funding this out of one of their funds, the Court Improvement Fund. So I'm here today to ask for approval to purchase video cameras and associated cabling for the cost of $52,797.20. And this will give full functionality over to the Chandler Court area for audio and visual. And then if there's any questions, and then Frankie Peters from District Court is also here for any other questions.
Yeah. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, ma'am.
Commissioner Menser?
No.
Okay. Since there are no questions, I'm ready for a motion.
Move to authorize the Information Technology Director to purchase an upgrade for the existing court system at Chandler Court to include video cameras and associated cabling for a cost of $52,797.20.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No further discussion.
And I apologize for the background noise. They're working in the back area, so nothing I can control. Unfortunately, it's from my HOA. So with that, it's been moved and seconded. No further discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser? Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, with that, we'll move on to Public Health and Social Services. And it's item 7A, contract for rent and utility assistance with Live Stories. And I see Tom Webster. Tom, I'll hand it out to you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tom Webster with Public Health and Social Services. So here to ask your approval today for the county manager to sign a contract with Giaco Inc., also known as Live Stories, for up to $5 million to deliver rent and utility assistance programs for Thurston County. And this is funds through the Washington State Department of Commerce with the U.S. Department of Treasury Emergency Rent Assistance Funds. So these funds are to, as you know, the Board of County Commissioners suspended the contract with CAC, Community Action Council, to carry out rent and utility assistance. So to minimize any delay in eligible Thurston County residents receiving assistance under this program, we would like to move forward with contracting with Live Stories. Live Stories is currently providing similar services for the city of Spokane, Skagit County, and Yakima County. Live Stories also is contracted with the Washington State Department of Commerce for data services. We are piggybacking this procurement, which was conducted by the city of Spokane that resulted in the selection of Live Stories. So we have an existing interlocal agreement with the city of Spokane on which we can piggyback the procurement process. Under this contract, Thurston County residents who have an active application or a scheduled appointment with CAC will be prioritized for service. And also current applicants who are working with a buy-in for organization or other partner organization will also be prioritized for service with Live Stories. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions.
Commissioner Menser?
Can you clarify as we did this morning, the duration or extent of the contract?
The duration of the contract is, it's for up to $5 million, depending on how long it takes to spend that out, not to exceed. It can be ended early if necessary, if we wanted to go back and re-engage with Community Action Council with their contract. So it's these funds last for another year or two, but we expect at the rate of spending, there's probably 3 months worth of funding available with this $5 million. Sorry, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it's terminable, and I think you said this, it's terminable basically at our discretion if we were able to, figure out a path forward with Community Action Council, which is ongoing.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay. With that, is there a motion? I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve a contract with Giaco Inc., doing business as Live Stories, for up to $5 million to deliver rent and utility assistance programs for Thurston County funded through the Washington State Department of Commerce with U.S. Department of Treasury Emergency Rent Assistance Program funding, and authorize the county manager to sign the contracts and any amendments do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Oh, man.
I would just make a comment that the public comment that we got at the beginning of the meeting kind of illustrates what the pressing concern is here, and regardless of how things end up landing with CAC, hopefully we've got a good effective bridge to get us from here to there, and this will help serve the citizens that are waiting for their applications. So thanks to staff for putting this up together. Difficult situation.
Okay. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Item 7B, amendment to extend the Thurston County Chamber Foundation Thurston Thrives Backbone Support Contract for 1 year, 2022. Chris Hawkins, I'll hand it off to you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Chris Hawkins here, Thurston County Public Health and Social Services Education and Prevention Manager. And I'm here today to request your consideration and approval, recommend your approval of this extension for another year of the Thurston Thrives Backbone Support Contract with the Thurston County Chamber Foundation. You've had some discussion and heard a lot of information about this contract. This is an annual renewal. The county has been a committed partner to this local community health improvement effort over several years. And the 2022 amendment really is to try some new things in the overall structure of Thurston Thrives and continue the emphasis on addressing racial health disparities, as has been an emphasis for the past couple of years. You've gotten some questions about what is the value of Thurston Thrives, that the county should continue this investment. And I would say that there's been a large amount of work accomplished by the Chamber Foundation in partnership with the participants in the Thurston Thrives Coordinating Council and action teams to address that racial disparity and health equity focus. I think you're familiar with a number of those accomplishments, including getting acknowledgement of racial health disparities into the Thurston County Comprehensive Plan. This contract and the Thurston Thrives effort is recognized in the county's strategic plan that started in 2019, but really is continuing to the present, with improving health outcomes for all residents, focusing on addressing the social determinants of health through Thurston Thrives. That's initiative 1, and initiative 2 is improve community health, wellness, and safety, including playing a leadership role in Thurston Thrives and the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance. So these are recognized strategies that the county has adopted and is committed to. And then I would just add as well that when we look back over the long span of Thurston Thrives, from back when it was started, one of the early measures that we focused on in putting this together was the county health rankings. At that time, when Thurston Thrives was just getting started, we had a ranking of 14th on the county health rankings for health outcomes, which are length of life and quality of life. That has improved. We got as high as 5th ranked in that same county health rankings in 2019. And on the health the factors in that county health rankings process, which is really about the future health of Thurston County, how can we improve those social determinants that are the subject of the action teams in Thurston Thrives that take a long time to work on. On those factors, including economy, our access to healthy foods, a built environment that supports physical activity, our physical environment, education, child and youth resilience, those factors, we have improved from a ranking of 12th in 2012 to a current ranking of 6th. So looked at in the big picture, this commitment the county has made has really made a difference in that long-term health of Thurston County residents. And with the current emphasis, I think we can expect that to continue. So I would encourage you to support this contract amendment for this year and continue that commitment. I think now is not a good time to retreat from our efforts to improve the lives of Thurston County residents on a multitude of factors, and that's what it takes to get community health improvement. Thank you.
Questions? Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, ma'am.
Questions, Commissioner Menser?
No questions. I have a comment when there's a motion.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Yes, I move to approve waiver of competitive solicitation under Section A9 of Policy 0201 and Amendment number 3 to the Thurston County Chamber Foundation contract for Thurston Thrives coordination backbone support to extend contract duration through December 31st, 2022 and add $40,000 of funding for this additional year of services for a revised total maximum contract amount of $160,000 and authorize the Public Health and Social Services Department interim director to sign the amendment, as well as any future amendments that do not change the dollar amount or duration of the contract by more than 10%.
Is there a second?
No, ma'am.
I'll second it. Okay. Any discussion?
I'd like to just say that I kind of restate what I said this morning in case folks weren't paying attention or weren't listening or weren't here, I should say. The question, we talked a little bit about some of the questions raised in the newspaper over the weekend. I asked the same questions from that article about 2 years ago after spending a year on the Thurston Thrives Coordinating Council. And between now and then, Thurston Thrives, I think, recognized some of those issues, spent the last year refocusing and retooling. I was not a part of that process, but I respect that they sort of were trying to address some of the issues that the board had raised a couple of years ago. Equity issues are an extremely high priority for Thurston County right now. So I was happy to see that more narrow focus on something that I think is a really important issue. So I'm willing to, understanding that there are still questions about efficacy and results. I'm willing to give them a year and see how this retooled structure functions, and certainly willing to reevaluate this early next year and see if it's still worth the county's investment.
Commissioner Edwards, go ahead.
I would just say I realize that the Chamber's philosophy, their heart's in the right spot. I just don't believe that they've attained where I think they ought to be yet. So thank you.
Yeah, and I have a lot of concerns still about this contract. And again, I'm not doing, I'll be voting in favor of it, but not lightheartedly. I believe, we need measurable outcomes, and I really advocated for changes last year, and I believe in giving them this year while they're here to implement those changes and see if something comes of it. But I've been reached out by several community members, and I have the same concerns I do. And, I feel if it does not work out this year, then we can go ahead and pull back. 40,000 is a lot. And honestly, we could be investing it in many other different ways that public health needs at this point in time. With just things we're seeing here in Thurston County that are really prevalent. But, I believe that giving them a year with this new structure to try it out and see if there's measurable outcomes for it, they deserve at least that. So with that, I'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Nay.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay, next.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, Chris. Next, interlocal agreement with Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization for Criminal Justice Treatment Account Funds. And Carrie is here. Go ahead, Carrie.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Carrie Hennon, Thurston County Public Health and Social Services Program Manager. I am here today to ask your approval of an amendment to an interlocal agreement with the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization. This agreement is funded through the Criminal Justice Treatment Account. Those are funds that Thurston County receives from the Washington Healthcare Authority. Those funds are restricted to substance use disorder treatment and recovery support services for individuals involved in our criminal justice treatment, in our criminal justice system. So the item before you amends an existing agreement that we have with the Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization. The agreement is for the year that ends June 30th, 2022. The current agreement is for $75,000. This amendment would add $30,000. And again, it uses these criminal justice treatment account funds. And specifically what we are funding through this agreement is housing, generally clean and sober housing for individuals with substance use disorder needs who are involved in the justice system.
Thank you, Carrie. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions.
Commissioner Menzer?
Nope.
Okay, with that, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve an amended interlocal agreement with Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization for a total of $105,000 in criminal justice treatment account funds for the period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, and authorize the interim director of public health and social services to sign the agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, and Carrie, we have you for the next one as well. Interlocal agreement with Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization for Treatment Sales Tax Fund.
Thank you. Again, this is an interlocal agreement with the Thurston Mason ASO. Different time period, different dollar amount, different fund source, but serving a related population. So this interlocal agreement is funded through our treatment sales tax, which is a 0.1% sales tax administered at the county level to fund mental health and substance use disorder treatment and services related to treatment. This interlocal agreement covers the period 2022 to 2023 and funds a wide range of services. You, as the county commissioners, set aside funding for this agreement through the biennial budget process. Through the budget you adopted in December, the agreement provides funding for a wide range of programming that serve youth and adults. Services are provided in schools, in our juvenile detention facility, in our county jail, in the community, through outreach, through partnerships with law enforcement, in behavioral health treatment settings. So hence, lots of programming. The agreement outlines the details of different programs, performance expectations, compensation, et cetera, and totals close to $6 million for that 2 years. And again, that's funding that was set aside through the county's budget process.
Thank you, Carrie. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Menser?
No.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the interlocal agreement with the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization for a total of $5,952,357 in treatment sales tax funds for the period of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2023, and authorize the interim director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, ma'am.
Go ahead, Commissioner Menser.
Carrie, you probably said this, but I just want to clarify that it's a lot of money, but these actual program decisions were done last fall during our budgeting process and reviewing the recommendations from the advisory council, right?
Correct. Yes. So all this went through both the advisory committee and the county commissioners' deliberations.
And this is kind of just an execution of those previous decisions. I just want people to understand, you know, it's like, oh, it seems like we're with very little discussion, shifting $6 million, but this all went through a lot of detailed programmatic review at last fall.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted the public to have that clarity. That's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah.
Okay, and next we go to Public Works Department, item 8A, resolution granting a non-exclusive franchise to the Eld Inlet Community Water Association for a water system within Thurston County rights-of-way. And I see Craig here.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Craig Sisson, Real Estate Services Manager for Public Works. The Eld Inlet Community Water Association has applied for a non-exclusive franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a water system within Thurston County rights-of-way known as Young Road Northwest. A public hearing on the application for the franchise was held by the Board of County Commissioners on February 22nd, 2022. The Board of County Commissioners approved the franchise application of the Eld Inlet Community Water Association for a non-exclusive franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a water system. The Board of County Commissioners will need to act on the resolution to grant the franchise to the Eld Inlet Community Water Association for the non-exclusive franchise for a water system within designated Thurston County rights-of-way for a term of 10 years. The non-exclusive franchise process for a water system is consistent with the county's strategic plan and is in alignment with Initiative 6 to proactively shape a strong, diverse economy that provides equitable access to opportunity.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Menser?
No.
Okay, with that, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the resolution granting Eld Inlet Community Water Association a non-exclusive franchise for a water system within designated Thurston County rights-of-way for a term of 10 years.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Motion passes. Now on to item 8B, resolution granting a non-exclusive franchise to the Scott Lake Maintenance Company for a water system within Thurston County rights of way. Craig, I'll hand it back to you.
All right, thank you. And I need to apologize beforehand. There are going to be a number of rights of way on this one, so this may take a few minutes. The Scott Lake Maintenance Company applied for a non-exclusive 10-year franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a water system within Thurston County rights of way known as Case Extension Road, Scott Creek Drive, Entree Drive, View Drive, Bonavista Drive, Sandtrap Court, 113th Way, Bogey Street, Helm Court, 114th Way, Bonavista Court, Treview Avenue, 114th Avenue, Scotlick Drive, Bonneview Court, Driver Street, Vantage Avenue, Scotlick Court Southwest, Champion Drive, Champion Court, Shoreview Drive, Wood Drive, 118th Court, 119th Court, Blooms Court, Scott Creek Loop, Link Court, Green Court, Fairway Drive, Hilltop Court, 123rd Avenue, Handicap Court, Lakeview Court, Iron Court, Rough Court, Vantage Court, Park Court, and an unnamed dead end across from Hilltop Court Southwest. A public hearing on the application for the franchise was held by the Board of County Commissioners on February 22nd, 2022. The board approved the franchise application of the Scott Lake Maintenance Company for a non-exclusive franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a water system. The Board of County Commissioners will need to act on the resolution to grant the franchise to the Scott Lake Maintenance Company for a non-exclusive franchise for a water system within designated Thurston County rights-of-way for a term of 10 years. The non-exclusive franchise process for a water system is consistent with the county's strategic plan and is in alignment with Initiative 6 to proactively shape a strong, diverse economy that provides equitable access to opportunity. I'm here for any questions.
Questions? Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, just thanks, Craig. Good job to keep it all straight.
Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No.
Okay, with that, I don't have questions either. I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve the resolution granting the Scott Lake Maintenance Company a non-exclusive franchise for a water system within designated Thurston County rights-of-way for a term of 10 years.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going on to item 8C, resolution and called for sealed bids for the US 12 Urban Improvements Phase 1, Old Highway 99 Southwest to West UGA boundary, capital project number 61502. And Teresa, I'll hand this to you.
Hi, good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Teresa Parsons. I'm with the Engineering Design Group in Public Works. And we are seeking permission from the Board of County Commissioners to call for sealed bids for a contract to construct the US 12 and Sergeant Road roundabout at the intersection of Sergeant Road and US 12 in Grand Mound, where currently no intersection exists. This project will improve traffic circulation to support development and improve emergency vehicle response time. And it is, the project has been supported with strong collaboration from the Chehalis tribe and surrounding development. The estimated construction cost, including contract administration and oversight, is $3,450,000. And the project is funded with transportation impact fees, real estate excise tax fees, REIT 2 money, and funding for both the Chehalis tribe and other private developers. This project is in the 2022-2023 Public Works budget. the 2022 to 2027 six-year transportation improvement program and capital improvement program, and is in alignment with the county strategic plan initiative 2 and initiative 8. I'll take any questions anybody has.
Thank you. Questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Edwards.
No questions, ma'am.
Okay, questions, Commissioner Menzer? Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve the resolution and call for sealed bids and authorize the county engineer to set the bid date and time for receipt and opening of said bids for the US 12 and Sergeant Road Roundabout project, titled the US 12 Urban Improvements Phase 1, Old Highway 99 Southwest to West UGA boundary on the 6-year transportation improvement plan with a county project number 61502.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Next item, item 8D.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I may, just an announcement.
Okay.
We have scheduled a public hearing here at 3 in the afternoon. I noticed that we have members of the public have joined this Zoom meeting. The public hearing will begin as soon as this Board of County Commissioners meeting will end here in a few minutes. The public hearing related to the Black Lake Special Use District is in a different Zoom. So as soon as we finish today, we'll open the other Zoom where the members of the public can join the public hearing. And let me state that on the conference call as well. Good afternoon. For those members of the public who have joined us this afternoon on a conference call, we are currently conducting the Board of County Commissioners meeting. As soon as this meeting will end in the next 10 minutes, the public hearing on the Black Lake Special Use District will begin. And at that time, we'll ask your name to provide testimony. In the meantime, please mute yourselves. Please mute your phones. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Next item is item 8D, resolution to alter the configuration of 197th Avenue Southwest. Teresa, I'll hand this back to you.
Thank you, Teresa Parsons again, Public Works Engineering Department. This is in conjunction with the construction of the roundabout at Sergeant Road and US 12. Currently, Sergeant Road coming south towards US 12 does not connect to US 12, but curves and connects into 197th. Because of the layout of the roundabout, that connection needs to be realigned and no longer connected directly to Sergeant Road. And so this is a request to realign and disconnect that direct connection with 197th. So the whole road system will work more efficiently. And so under RCW 36.32.120, only the Board of County Commissioners has authority to lay out, discontinue, or alter county roads and highways within Thurston County. And so staff is requesting the Board of County Commissioners approve this realignment. This project, again, is in conjunction with the US 12 and Sergeant Road Roundabout. I'm here to take any questions.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
Really, no questions. We've had a lot of discussion on this over the last couple of years. Just want the public to know that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Menzer?
Nothing. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve the resolution to alter the configuration of 197th Avenue Southwest in Grand Mountain, Washington, to remove its connection to Sergeant Road Southwest.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Motion
Thank
passes.
you.
Thank you, Teresa. Okay, and then our last item, item E, contract award for culvert supply for Fish Passage Enhancement 2022. Project 63009 and 63017. I'll pass this to Catherine. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Catherine Tran, and I'm an Associate Civil Engineer for Public Works. On February 10th, 2022, a total of 2 bids were received to provide 2 concrete box culverts for the Fish Passage Enhancement Program, County Project C63009 and 63017. This bid was received in response to the work being advertised in the Olympian and the Seattle Daily Journal of Commerce and posted on the Builders Exchange website. The low bid was received from Columbia Precast Products of Woodland, Washington, with the bid of $214,290. Fabrication costs will come from the real estate excise tax funds allocated for the Fish Passage Enhancement Program. This contract will provide for the manufacture and delivery of the 2 box culverts ahead of the construction contracts for their installation. These culverts will be used to replace current fish passage barriers located on Little Rock Road Southwest and Houston Drive Northwest. This will save at least 3 months of lead time, allowing for a much more streamlined construction schedule. This project is in the current 2022 Public Works budget, 2022 to 2027 Transportation Improvement Plan, Capital Facilities Plan, and is in an alignment with the county's strategic plan and Initiative 8 to support robust and well-maintained infrastructure systems for a thriving community, and Initiative 9 to support environmental health and climate stabilization. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Questions, Commissioner Menser?
No questions.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to award the contract to fabricate and deliver 2 box culverts for the Fish Passage Enhancement Program, CP 63009 at Little Rock Road Southwest and CP 63017 at Houston Drive Northwest to Columbia Precast Products of Woodland, Washington for a total amount of $214,920, and to authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the contract and any change orders for this project due to unforeseen conditions only, not for changes in scope. Up to 10% of the contract amount, $21,492 for an aggregate of $236,412.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Aye.
We can't hear you. Sorry.
Is this better?
Yes.
Commissioner Menser,
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia,
Aye. Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll go on to our standing items. Item 9A, Commissioners will report on board work sessions and assigned committee meetings, providing updates on actions taken as well as upcoming issues. With that, we'll start with Commissioner Edwards.
The main thing, let's see, had a TCOM meeting, Fair Board meeting, and a Lodging Tax Advisory Committee meeting. And we did allocate a fair amount of money to put heads in beds as this season comes upon us as we move out of COVID-19. And a lot of input from the community reference this whole virus thing and when we're going to be done with it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Menser?
Attended the Rochester Grand Mound Chamber meeting, the new employee orientation, Chehalis Basin Board meeting, a racial justice program at Capitol High School over the weekend, innovative justice meeting this morning, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. And I attended the WASAC virtual meeting yesterday, JASCOM meeting, Animal Services, canvassing board training, attended the Cultural Center Bazaar this weekend, the Washington State Association of Counties Legislative Steering Committee, the Emergency Food and Shelter Program. They are getting ready to release the application to organizations, so that is going to be coming up. And then intercity transit. Nothing major to report on those committees. With that, I'll move forward on to item 9B. The county manager will review the Board of County Commissioners schedule for the week of March 8th, 2022.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me walk you through your combined schedule with at least 2 commissioners will be present. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. As soon as you're complete this meeting, you have a public hearing related to the operations of the Black Lake Special Use District. That will be conducted on a different Zoom meeting. So this Zoom will be closing, and then we'll open the next Zoom for the members of the public to join that Zoom meeting for the public hearing. Wednesday, March 9th at noon, tomorrow, you have your regular meeting with your appointed directors. Followed by 1 in the afternoon, you have a briefing related to the Heritage Grant Program Awards and Historic Commission project budget. Thursday, March 10th, 9:30 in the morning, you have a briefing related to the South Sound Military and Communities Partnership Program. At 10 in the morning, you continue the conversation related to the 2022-2023 preliminary docket and public comments and proposals. And this is a follow-up to the meeting that you had last week. Thursday, March 10th at 1 in the afternoon, you have a briefing related to the redistricting plan. The auditor's office staff will provide some perspective related to the upcoming changes. Moving on to next week, Monday, March 14th at noon, you have your standing meeting with the Washington State Association of Counties virtual assembly. And then you will convene back here on Tuesday, March 15, where the boardroom will be open to the public, where you have a 9 in the morning, your agenda setting. Follow in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, the regular Board of County Commissioners meeting. And at 3:30 or soon thereafter will be the Transportation Benefit District meeting. And also on Tuesday, March 15, at 4 in the afternoon, you have invited to participate on the City of Rainier open house for Rainier Historical Church. And that will be located in 207 Olympia Street West, Rainier, Washington. And that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we will adjourn this meeting, and we will resume, it is 3:14, we will resume the public hearing for operations of the Black Lake Special District here shortly. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.